Let me cut on it. I need a souffle, don't flee from me. Ice cream, chocolate, go diva, go diva, go diva.
Today, we're going to be going over the social constructions of
Millennials.
Most people don't know the age range of the millennial generation. So, by definition, what is a millennial? A millennial, by definition, is someone who was born between the years 1982 to 2004. The social construction of the millennium generation depicts our generation as a letdown compared to others. Our elders look at us in disappointment as being nothing but a bunch of lazy, disappointing, and entitled people that contribute nothing to society. I believe that millennials are shown so negatively because of the way we were raised. Technology has transformed newer generations in good and in bad ways. I feel that millennials have a lot to offer the world. Let's see what millennials have to say about it. So how do you think society looks at millennials?
Society looks at millennials like, well, they think we're pretty dumb and they think we're really lazy. And I'd be like, man, that's not true, but I'm failing a couple classes and I like to sleep.
So I am very lazy, but then again, everyone is lazy, so you can't just categorize millennials just as being lazy.
Why do you think that millennials are looked upon as being entitled and lazy?
Like me, I kind of expected stuff to just happen, and it's like, so why work for it? Why put some extra effort into, doing stuff? It's like,
Do you think it's because like the new modern world that we live in, and that
I just feel like this, like the modern world right now, that you bring it up is like so advanced. I just feel like advancing technology. I feel like I don't necessarily consider this a title because of that. I just feel like I just let things run this course.
Why do you think there's such a generation gap between our generation of millennials versus, say, our parents or our grandparents?
I'd say mainly because we have so much more information. They would have a mindset that their families would have and their parents would have, and they would just learn from that. In our generation, we can take information from the internet.
We have technology.
And fact check and get our opinions from there.
How do millennials contribute to the rest of the world?
I think that millennials overall are very open to different ideas, and we are altogether very open to people doing kind of what they want, I guess, comparatively to our parents and our grandparents. We are open to things more like gay marriage and legalization of marijuana, and I think a lot of us, personally, me, are on the line of as long as it's not really hurting anybody else, people should be able to do what they want, whether that's physically harming someone else or mentally harming someone else. But I think that as long as nobody's harming anyone, everybody's fine, and I think that contributes a lot to how people are open.
Some basic social constructions of millennials is being entitled, being lazy, and not contributing a lot to the world. How do you feel about those statements?
I feel like it's not necessarily true, because in terms of like how far our country has grown, especially throughout the world in the last 50 years, we have seen a lot of inventions and innovations, and throughout that time period, it's become more available to the people like throughout the world, and especially in terms of technology, it's come a long way in how it's contributed to most career paths that most people are going into. Like, it has a huge implication in certain career paths, and it's contributed a lot more to our economy than it has been in the last 50 years and how far it's come, and it's had a huge part to play.
How do millennials compare to other generations like baby boomers or Generation X?
I think with millennials you get a lot more, like I know for me personally, there's a lot more less face-to-face interaction. You see a lot less kids playing outside compared to previous generations due to newer advances in technology. So with technology being more of a standard, you don't see as many kids being raised the same way. So I think in comparison to millennials to previous generations, you don't see kids raised in the same way where like I said, because technology is a standard and because we have like there's a higher, a better way of life and stuff like that. You have kids raised with more technology, other ways to go about life rather than the old hard labor, having to go outside, having to walk everywhere, stuff like that. There's just greater, newer technologies out there that make a better living standard for everyone.
Although I do agree that technology has become a big part of millennials' lives, I don't feel that it really affects them in a negative way, other than I do believe that the internet is more of a benefit to our generation than it is a negative effect on us. Millennials were born in an era where technology is advancing every single day, and it continues to do this progress. I overall disagree with the social constructions behind millennials because I really do believe that millennials do have something to offer the world. I mean, we are the future of the world. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't see yet. To all the millennials watching this video, let's prove the social constructions wrong about how they perceive us. And go out and make a difference.
Shawty got me standing at attention. Quit that door. It's that tool day.